All right, we're here. First the floor, Jake Eisenberg, joined by Dan Greenberg from Barstool Sports. Two down.
Two
14
down.
to go.
Two down.
Four down. Didn't have Jayson Tatum missing the second playoff game of the run on my Winner Banner 19 bingo card, but Jaylen Brown stepped the fuck up.
Big time.
And
Big time.
the Celtics win. Greeny, how are we feeling?
Exhausted. It's like, I know it's only the first round, but it's like this may as well have been game 7 of the NBA finals. You know, when you're in it and they're going back and forth and you're just like, you're already stressed enough because Tatum isn't there to bail you out. And someone just has to, step up and be the guy. And then nobody's hitting a shot for like 3/4 of the game. But like you said, I mean, this is why it's good to have Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum on your team. if I can't imagine why anyone may have been doubting that. Like, it shouldn't have taken tonight for you to see the light in that regard. But I mean, listen, the role required him to be Jayson Tatum, and he did it in all aspects of the game: points, efficiency, rebounding, assists, defense, clutch buckets, got them going early. Like, you could have taken away the name and given the stat line and the overall vibe of the performance. Yeah. People would say, oh, this is a Jayson Tatum game. And that was what was required. And it was great, really, really good to see him, step up and fill that role.
Man, like the knee has obviously been a big focus of everybody's brain for the past month. And to see this injection, like, I thought he looked good in game 1. Mm-hmm. Today was like finals MVP when he had that steal on Corey Joseph where he lets the defender kind of like bang into them, gets that outside hand into the ball, and then he's just off to the races in transition and he outruns Paolo and throws it down. I was like,
the dunk part was big. If he had finger rolled it, I would have been like, all right, he's still, even if he's okay, he's thinking about it. To dunk like that was kind of like when you could really tell that Gordon Hayward had gotten over the mental hurdle of his injury. Like, that's how I felt today was the first time. And I'm sure it probably hurts, but, this was the first time really since like the Phoenix game, I think it was, that he has looked like a guy who's not worried or impacted by his banged up knee.
I don't think he's looked this physically good at all. Like, this was by far, and I wonder how much of it is just like the emotion, the adrenaline of a game like today. Like, in a first round series where you're not expecting maybe that much juice, but you obviously have the Tatum injury. You got Horford getting tripped up earlier in the game. Like, there's a lot of juice. Jaylen getting in the face of KCP. So I don't know how much of it is adrenaline. I don't know what they're putting in these ketamine shots that go directly into your knees, but I
think they gave him whatever injection, whatever plan or plug that Al Horford has. He just broke off because I mean, this was like, even right away in the first quarter, he had great lift on his jumper, and I think those early threes really gave him the confidence of, okay, this has to be a big time shot making type game from me. Like, I can't have a 5 for 17 performance, right? Like, he didn't need to just produce the points. It needed to be efficient, especially because you knew there were going to be offensive lulls with no Tatum. And then everybody else doesn't have the same quality of looks, without Tatum on the floor. So for Jaylen's shot making specifically, it was like, I called it a non-negotiable type. Like, if you are a franchise player, this is the exact performance you need to have. And he did it.
Yeah, and Jaylen, since the knee thing, he's actually been shooting quite well from 3. So, like, last 6 games of the regular season, 41.4%.
On pretty low volume, though, right? Wasn't the volume
on 4.8 attempts?
All right,
that's not bad. And so tonight, 5 for 7. I actually don't remember what he was in game 1, but his 3-point shot.
I don't think he took any, or maybe he took
definitely was
maybe
low.
He took 2.
Low
at
volume.
Most. But he could have even been 0 for 1, to be honest.
He was, 1 second, 0 for 2.
Yeah.
0 for 2.
Yeah.
So now he's 7 for 9, I guess.
No.
Yeah. So,
he didn't make 7 today.
Well, was it for over the first 2 games of the playoffs?
Okay. I was gonna say.
Two guys do a mass on the fly. It didn't go well. That's okay. But so Jaylen looking like this, I mean, firstly, it's big because you need someone to step up in like securing the wins that are right in front of us in this exact moment. I'm not particularly worried about Tatum long term for the rest of the run. I think.
We want to be hopeful. I mean,
totally.
I was convinced he was going to play today. So you could tell me that Friday isn't even a lock, and I'll until I see it now, because these things can linger. I mean, how the hell do we know? Maybe they just say you're up 2-0. We're going to give you game 3 off. I mean, it's just after they told us he was fine, and then the MRI brought back something different. I'm just, I'm weary until I see it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he misses game 3 now because of the cushion that they've got with the first 2 games. I'm just more like into the second round, into the conference finals. I'm choosing, at least I have chosen to believe the 3 Twitter doctors that have come out and said like
it's like a 3-day thing.
Yeah. So I'm confident that long term it's going to be fine. But so it's like in the short term though, we need to get these playoff wins, get out of the series as fast as we can, right? Whether it's putting less of a load on Jaylen's knee, keeping the minutes off Al Horford's 38-year-old beautiful body, whether it's keeping KP away from a basketball court as much as possible, just in general. The faster you get out, the better. And so for Jaylen Brown to step up and give you fucking 36, 10, and 5 on 19 shots that's I would say his second best game of the season after the Lakers game, I thought, when they came to town. I would say, though, that's the other one that comes to mind. But this is Finals MVP, the version of Jaylen Brown that we got in last year's playoffs. And coming to the playoffs, that was my biggest concern. It's like, I know Jaylen's going to play. It's like the competition's going to be, we're going to need the version of Jaylen Brown we had against Dallas, against Cleveland, and especially against OKC. You don't have, having you said it before, the Jays is the whole thing here. You've got 2 6'7", 6'9", versatile, hyper explosive wings. That's what makes this thing work. And so for him to, one, look incredible like this long term, is really important for what they can do getting the banner. Yeah,
and it really stresses how crucial a game 2 like this is, right? Because your goal, as you mentioned, is you need to end these series as quickly as possible. Well, ensuring that what did we say when they were dropping these bullshit home games during the year? It's like you're so good on the road that you just have to figure stuff out at home for the playoffs. And a game like tonight without Tatum, where, maybe the Magic are feeling a little bit good about themselves because they keep battling with you in these first halves, and you're unable to, get it from 12 to 20, right? You get it to 12, they bring it back down to, 5 to 7. So they're feeling good. So to still find a way to win a game like this it's almost like 1.5 wins. You know what I mean? Because it's like you get the win in the standing, but then you also get the relief that you didn't drop a home game, the confidence that you won without Tatum, the confidence that Jaylen was able to fill that role. You were able to execute on both ends in big moments. Like you're able to go 2 up on this series without even really shooting well or taking high volume of threes. You're figuring out other ways to win, which is what you have to do over the course of a playoff journey. So it's like, yes, it's game 2 of the first round against the 7th seed. But when you add it all up, it's like this is the momentum and the boxes you want to check when you're hoping to make a deep run.
Hey, we're on track. We're on track to be even better than last season. We were 1-1 at this point last year, so let's keep this thing going.
It's physically impossible for them to start the playoffs better than they have it 2-0. Work on that, man. How's that for me?
Yeah, hey, now we're cooking.
How's that for data? You know what I mean?
I was about to do it again. I was like, what was their home playoff record in last year's playoffs? Because now if you go back, they're fantastic because they're 2-0 in the finals and conference finals, and then they were so
they lost twice. They lost twice at home. So
I know. This is good to flip the script, and now the Road Warriors get to go on the road. But this is the playoffs. These series, the playoffs are emotional terrorism, and I think Knicks fans, I was really enjoying their experience because they had a chance to steal it a second game and go up 2-0 and be like, the Pistons had to get one.
Right.
And if they don't get one, then this series is over in 5 probably. But then the Pistons hold on, and not only do the Pistons get it to 1-1 going home, you got 2 days off, and you got 2 days to just sit there as a fan and like not sleep essentially until Game 3 starts. And so to win these games and give yourself a 2-game cushion, the difference between 2-0 and 1-1 is just astronomical.
It's insane. And it's sort of like when you're watching a game and like you could be down 10 points, or like 12 points, but depending on where it is in the score, some scores just feel worse. Like if you're down like
I saw Big Cat post that.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. It's like there's just something psychological about it. 2-0 as opposed to 1-1, because especially if you drop the second game, then you're like, shit, now we're, giving them momentum heading back to their home court. To be up 2-0, you're like, we can effectively end the series if we win Game 3. It's just such a different psychological approach that I'm sure Missoula like doesn't allow them to have. But that's why part of me thinks is like, do you just, if Tatum is good to go and he can tolerate it, do you play him so you go
end the series?
Because just to ensure that you don't have a longer series than you need to. But the other part of me is like, shit, if you just won shooting like this without him, maybe you could steal it. But part of me thinks like respect the game, respect the opponent, respect the basketball gods. But to be able to end the series at 3-0, then you start like, okay, now we can maybe ramp things back a little bit and get out of it in 5 or 6 or 4 or 5.
Yeah. I'm torn. I think it just depends on how his wrist feels. Like, is his wrist going to allow him to play close to 100%? Because if not, does playing him, he's going to have the ball so much. Does playing him lead to maybe you playing worse potentially? Because like this team,
it's the Jaylen Brown end of season debate, right? Like, do you rest him for when you truly need him, or does he get reps in this new version of himself, knowing that it probably isn't going away, and you're going to have to figure it out eventually? Like, throw it against a good defense and see how it looks, and hope that the rest of the talent around you can pick up for it if it looks bad. But it's the exact same debate, only now we're in games that actually matter, not against the Hornets where it's an easier decision.
And the Suns, the Suns defense has yet to make an appearance in the playoffs yet, which is unfortunate for the Celtics.
Can you ever imagine Tatum playing 115 straight and
Crazy.
then missing 2 in a row? I just didn't even know that was an option that could be something that happens in life.
Not a wrist either. I'm like, wrist, he doesn't need that. It's like you're going to have to chop something off for him to actually miss a game. So I don't know. If he's good to go, he's good to go. So he plays. But if it's like borderline, I would rest him, because I think this team can clearly win against this Magic team with the roster they've got, even without Tatum. Because like you mentioned it before, like I thought the Celtics were so close so many times to blowing this thing open, and that's kind of indicated by Jamal Mosley running out of timeouts. Like he called so many run stoppers, and I'm not usually a timeout works guy, but I actually think the timeouts worked today, because there was several after timeouts where they went on like a 6-0 run or a 7-0 run or just a stabilizer. And I'm like, fuck. Or like there was just so many moments where I felt like the Garden was going crazy. We just needed like 2 more kill shots and the game was going to be over. And the Magic just like kept fighting back. And I wonder if you just play it out one more time, that they don't have a fight back in them, just because they were hitting so many tough shots.
Right. And to me, that inability to, it's not the initial build of the separation, but that extra level that takes it into like, now we're, kicking the shit out of you. That was the Tatum margin, right? Like when you're up 12 and Tatum's on the floor with like the Tatum and bench lineup, and he has so much gravity, that's when you get the wide open, back-to-back Sam Hauser threes. Now a 12-point lead is 18, and the runs, even once you absorb the run, now they've only cut it down to 12 or 13. So for me, this was like what the rest of the NBA looks like when they build a 12-point lead and they don't have Jayson Tatum. It's like, a team is going to go on a 6-0 run, and you're going to have to take that on the chin and then rebuild it, as opposed to when you have the buffer of Tatum, it's like, okay, we're up 18 and you went on a 6-0 run. Like, we're still up double digits, and then now you've missed 5 straight. So it's like that was the difference, but it was great to see them continue to respond. And, they won the game like 5 separate times because the magic kept coming back.
Yeah, and I think last little bit on Jaylen, like in his post-game press conference, they were just asking him about it and like being ready to do whatever. Or Jaylen went up to Joe and said to him, "I'm ready to do whatever it takes to win tonight." Man, Joe and Jaylen just must fucking love each other.
But it's the mentality of the whole roster, right?
It is.
I think we talk so much about like, oh, the Ime persona, oh, like the top, like you embody your head coach. And I think up and down the roster, we're seeing what that looks like of dog mentality, toughness, sacrifice, trust. Like they are completely bought into the Missoula way. And we're seeing what that looks like on a basketball court. And, they've won 18 of their last 21 playoff games.
Pretty good.
Pretty fucking good.
Pretty fucking good. In that interview today, after the game, Jaylen's like, I think in my first interview, I said, I'm going to go to war for the city. Mm-hmm. He is a playoff guy, and that's why he's always been pretty good at like maintaining his level in the playoffs or going to a new level because he raises his level of physicality, and he's so athletic and strong that that's just kind of how sports work when it comes down to it sometimes. And he's just a tough shot maker. And so it's like when the defenses get tighter in the playoffs, he's like, I take these shots all the time. Like that tough mid-range shot that he had over Paolo. I mean, like shades of Game 3 of the finals. Like a
little bit more of because I don't think he pumped. Did he pump fake on that one, on the Paolo one? I can't remember.
No, I think he went straight to it, but it went high up. It had snow coming on it when it came down, and he had that ridiculous finish over
This was a great example of why you gave him playmaking and initiator reps over the course of the regular season, right? Like we talked about it every time we would come on here. We'd be like, the Celtics Twitter would be having a civil war about who should, run the off. And it's like, you have to understand that in the playoffs, someone other than Tatum is going to have to prove that they can do it on a consistent level because teams are going to take him away. I don't think any of us anticipated him being out with an injury. It was more about surviving the non-Tatum minutes. Today, it was 48 minutes of non-Tatum minutes. And I just felt like those reps and the confidence that he has in assuming that role, that's what the regular season equity is for. And it paid off, in spades when it really mattered.
Yeah, it's a great call. Like you're just going to have moments where you need him to do it. It paid off last season. Like it's been something that's been building and building and building. Right. And the fact that he had averaged a season where he had 4.5 assists is not something I ever thought was really possible for Jaylen, but it's that same Warriors mentality. Same with Peyton Pritchard. Like they're constantly getting better and working on their weaknesses. So he was awesome. Like absolutely salute to Jaylen Brown. Like that's a huge win. And like these wins and these moments add up on a playoff run. Another moment that I think we'll probably remember, this Kristaps Porzingis guy, he has a flair for the dramatic, if not for anything else. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's game 1 of the NBA Finals when he's coming back, or if he's getting injured, it seems to be like the most rare ankle injury or a sliced face open as he's playing it up to the crowd. I mean, he earned it with meat today. I'll give him that.
There was no meat in game 1. He had meat coming out of every orifice of his body. There was so much. And you know what? Honestly, like, what did he shoot today? Probably like 5 for 15 or something shitty.
5 for 14, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 5 for 14. I think he missed 4 free throws. I'll give him an excuse on one of them because he was, gushing blood. But like, you want me to forget all about that? Have a moment like tonight. Come back. Don't be a little wimp about it. Embrace it. Revel in the blood and the moment. Be a WWE character, but then also, rebound down the stretch. Do your job on the court. And for me, it was like early in the game, I didn't love how he was playing. He was, he couldn't make a shot. He was 0 for 4 from 3. He was missing free throws. It's just one of those, like on a night where you don't have Tatum, KP, like this had to be, I thought, like an efficient 25, 30 point night. We didn't get that, but he still found ways to be effective. I thought his ability to get to the line is what sustained their offensive lows, which was nice. I just, wish he would stop missing so many free throws, but it's just,
he did get to the line 14 times.
So that's incredible. Like that's incredible. And that's honestly, I feel like he's been getting a worse whistle just in terms of his turnaround jumper into contact. I feel like, he hasn't really been getting, and that's sort of why his 3 to 10 foot, efficiency has dropped because, 5% of those shots used to be fouls and now they're, no calls. So 14 free throws for him is a big number. It's just, eventually we need the shooting to also live up to it.
Yeah, so I mean, like this was a key coming into the series was going to be the free throw line. Like the Magic get to the free throw line more than any other team. The Celtics don't let teams get to the free throw line. On the other side, the Magic send teams to the free throw line. I think they were second in the NBA. So it's like, if the Magic going to cut off your threes, and like, how are you going to find offense? Like, they're a really good defense for a reason.
With no Tatum.
With no Tatum, especially. It's like KP, one of his superpowers is drawing fouls, and getting to the free throw line. And so to come back after game one and not really have an impact on the box score from a points standpoint, like he didn't have an efficient field goal 3-point percentage night, but 20 points on 14, 20 points on 14 shots, that's efficient. Like points per possession, that was great. Defensively, I thought he was really good protecting the rim again. He was a team high plus 15. I thought that he was really, really impactful when he was out there, obviously, because the Celtics couldn't hit a shot in the first half. They were 28% from the field for what felt like for the entire first half. And they were generating shots, both Jaylen and KP, mostly at the free throw line. So again, it's find ways to win. And KP did that.
He very rarely has 2 bad games in a row, right? Like we talked about how last year he was bad in the game 2 against Miami, owned it, talked about how he would be better, and then was immediately, a much more impactful player in game 3. Game 1 played ass in pretty much every area except for rim protection, some good defensive possessions, but it was not an impactful, night for him. Tonight, the shot's not going in, but he's everywhere else. He's rebounding, he's getting to the line, he's just helping you get through the lulls. And that's why you traded for him, right? Because, it's not rocket. This is not the first time we've seen, with or without Tatum, this team have a scoring lull. So Brad Stevens obviously saw that and said, okay, when this eventually happens in the playoffs, we need the cheat code. We need a counter. And this was it. Sometimes it's going to be 35-foot bombs. Tonight it was 2s, free throws, and rebounding.
Beautiful. Yeah, and the 10 rebounds, 5 of them offensive. He had 6 games in the regular season where he had 10 or more rebounds. So again, on a night,
insanely low, I feel
he's not a big rebounder for a guy that's 7'2".
But he played you needed 38 games, 40 games.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Under 16% of his games, he's I would not have guessed it would be that few.
He had more games with 5 rebounds or less than 10 rebounds or more. For a 7'2" guy, that's okay.
He gets a pass tonight.
It's not his thing. It's not his thing. But on a night where you don't have Tatum, that's your glass eater. Right. Both Jaylen and Porzingis stepped up.
And Horford too, right? Horford had,
of course, 10 boards for the big dog. So the 3 guys stepped up on the boards. Derek gave you 6. Jrue gave you 4. Pritchard, of course. And maybe that's where we go next here. As someone that has been concerned, apprehensive that Pritchard's going to be able to have an impact against the best defenses in the playoffs, 2 games in, this is huge. Huge. Because
I thought he struggled a little bit early, but part of that was
he missed those 2 bunnies.
End of shot clock, tough contesteds. He had the 2 missed layups, but outside, I feel like that's nitpicking, right? Overall, you needed to see that he could be effective against elite high ball pressure, physical defenses with size. Through 2 games, I feel like he's been able to have impactful minutes as well. The and one with 2 or 3 minutes left. That is just that's the dog. That's why he is who he is as a player. The 3s are great, but it's just his overall compete level and his ability to just battle with people twice his size and come out on the right side of it is this is the player that, you are going to need if you want to win the title.
Yeah, man. And obviously last playoffs, he kind of got relegated to a pure end of quarter heaves guy, essentially.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that he's improved as a defender, I think just means that he can stay on the court because offensively, he gives them a pace that they don't like kind of have. He's so good at getting out in transition, and against a defense that's like trying to cut off your water from the 3-point line, he's able to pull from anywhere, and he's able to pull like mid sprint. And so in that second half, he goes 2 for 3 from 3. But
weren't you like flabbergasted when he didn't take the transition 3 and tried to lob it to Hauser? Like, I thought he had like a brain aneurysm or something. Like, what the hell? I didn't even know.
And that's his spot.
Exactly. Everything about it was like, this is when we get the Pritchard momentum 3. I'm okay if you want to throw a lob to like Jaylen Brown, but why are we throwing lobs to Hauser even in that moment? So that was bizarre.
It's a good point. Hauser at the rim in transition hasn't exactly worked out super well this season anyway. There's been some missed dunks and opportunities there. But I thought, offensively, the points are obviously good, but I'm just the defense on Paolo.
Oh,
like he's holding up
without help.
No help. And then I'm like, they're sending help, and I'm yelling, don't help. Because that's leading to some wide open shots. The Magic just can't hit a shot to save their life on the other side. But Paolo was hunting that matchup for a little bit, and Pritchard was like forcing him back out to the 3-point line. And I was like, dude, this guy he's ridiculous.
He can
ridiculous. Dog.
What it reminds me? Not maybe at this level, because I feel like Pritchard is a little bit more effective in terms of getting stops and just his tenacity. But it's sort of like, there were times where Isaiah Thomas would play great defense. He would just be 5'6". So it's like Peyton Pritchard foundationally plays great defense. Like he's almost never out of position. He knows how to, where to be and how to position himself. I feel like as he's gone through a couple years of NBA training, NBA weight room, he's put on, he's a thick dude.
He's thick.
So it's like, he's like a mini Jrue Holiday. So it's like in those moments where, he's going up against Paolo, he may lose that battle, 7 out of 10 times. But it's not going to be an easy possession for Paolo. And that is all you're looking for whenever you have those, mismatches. So it's just, I don't think they should help because I just, make them beat you in isolation as opposed to putting you in rotation. And you have to credit his willingness to like, even if he gets scored on, he's coming right back at you the next time you try to force that switch.
He's constantly applying pressure on both ends, whether it's, hunting the threes in transition, spacing you out to 3-point line. He's hunting for offensive rebounds. And now on the other end, he's always been good positionally, but tonight I thought he attacked the ball well as well. I thought he was getting deflections. There was he was crashing on help and going after the ball handlers. I thought he was really impactful all night long.
Man of the year type performance.
Yeah.
Right? You saw why he's the best bench player in the NBA, because it's not just about doing it against the Hornets and the second to last game of the season. We are in high leverage, big time playoff games on the journey of a repeat title. And he came in and was, for stretches, one of the best players on the court.
He was fantastic. And again, another big deal for just the longevity of this playoff run. Because because he played 33 minutes tonight. Again, Tatum out, so there's going to be perimeter minutes available. Hasn't been a Luke or Hauser series to this point
at all. That's probably the most surprising thing is that they've been not only complete non-factors, but almost unplayable factors, which is not what I saw coming in this series, especially because you would have thought that they'd be able to get the Magic in rotation and just get some, open looks for Hauser. But I can't even remember if he even shot the ball today. It has not been a good series for them.
Yeah, he had 2 threes tonight. One was semi-clean, but they're just trying to get them off the 3-point line so much. And so with the switching defense, they haven't been able to find Hauser really. Tatum found him for 1 in game 1 that he missed. And so it's with such limited opportunities, he might just go 0 for 2. He's going to have a game. He might go 2 for 2 in game 3. It wouldn't surprise me, right? But it's he's only going to get a couple shots.
You can't be getting 0 points from.
And then he's struggling on the other end. I think that that's the one matchup that I think that they've been pretty comfortable in with Paolo. And it's a tough matchup, but it's
I was going to say
I want a little bit more.
The Paolo and the Franz challenge for him is tough because normally when Hauser is able to sustain himself defensively in isolation, it's a guy is maybe big and not as quick, or, is maybe not as strong. So Hauser can hold his ground defensively. with both of those guys, they're able to, bring their center of gravity low, dip their shoulder, and finish through contact. So they have that combination of speed, size, and strength. It's just a tough cover for someone like him. Like, I feel better about Hauser guarding like Luka in isolation, who's just, not very fast, than I do someone like Powell, who's got a great first step, who's going to get his shoulder into you and is strong enough to finish over him. There's just no resistance on either of those matchups.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that he can bounce back a little bit defensively. I want to see him grab some rebounds. I want to see him try and like do what Pritchard doing, what we just talked about, and like even if their shot's not falling, can you find a way to impact the game a little bit? He had a nice rear, like a transition block in game one.
Game one, yep.
So not a good game, I didn't think, from Hauser. Didn't kill you, but I want to see, like, let's inject some PP into you and get ready for that matchup.
Figure out, steal it from their locker if you have to. Yeah. I'm sure Al seems like a nice guy. He'll give you some of his juice, and just again, part of having short series is getting complete performances up and down the roster. You look across the league right now in the playoff landscape. What are you seeing? You're seeing all the Cavs role players play great, come through. Their games are blowouts, minus tonight, but they're going to sweep. OKC, SGA can't make a basket, and they're winning by 50 points because their others are stepping up. So far through 2 games, like outside of Pritchard, what other bench player has made a positive impact in their minutes? It hasn't happened. I think it hasn't hurt you because you're playing a team that can't score. But moving forward, that's not going to cut it.
Yep. Jrue Holiday. So another, he got into foul trouble early, and after being, I thought, incredible on Paolo in game 1, got into a bit of foul trouble. But I thought that in the second half in particular, but in the first half as well, because this Magic defense is doing a good job of like trying to stay in front of guys, stay out of rotation. I thought Drew's drives were really effective tonight. Like, they were finding him on the wing, little handoffs. He had that massive surprise. Drove, thought he was going to let big dribble, got up, 2 hands, threw it down. Couple of drives, kickouts to Jaylen.
Did he also dunk in one of the games towards the end of the year, or was that in game 1? And I'm just – because I feel like in the last 2 weeks we've seen him dunk twice now, which is not something that I ever thought we would see at this stage of his career. But
yeah, so to see, he clearly saves a gear. If you're watching the stream right now, what are you doing? We got almost 100 people watching. You only give me 8 likes. What are we doing here? Like the button. It's not hard. Just move your little mouse right over. 1 second, done. Yeah, man. The Holiday flip the switch thing is clearly happened, and I think that is something that they can lean into more, especially if Tatum's going to be out, is like Jrue Holiday driving. Because I think that similar to how Pritchard's had some success getting downhill, it's like these guys that on the Magic are so big, then like, can you get into their body a little bit and get to the rim that way? I thought Jrue with that dunk, and then in the second half, it was like a KP post up, back out to Jrue. Even like, it wasn't even like a big closeout for Wendell Carter, but he's just slow enough. Jrue, pump fake and go. Defense collapsed, hit Jaylen in the corner. Yep. Like, that's this. It's like, okay, starting to see that Missoula ball machine start to go. I thought Jrue was like big for some of those possessions tonight.
There was this sequence, I think it was right when they were making their initial push, I think in the third quarter, because both Derek and Jrue, I thought, were reserved in the first half in terms of overall production. But Jrue had that hesitation drive, and then the very next possession, Derek White had the same type of, he did the Nash dribble, came around. So it's like those 2 back-to-back, I think, is the adjustment for them, because the Magic are so obsessed with running you off the line. They're closing out. They're selling out to take that away. Just the smallest little bit of pump fake is going to get them in rotation. And then I trust them to make the right decision, whether that's finish at the rim or find a shooter in the corner for an open look. So the patience to understand of once you get past that initial defender, what you then have to do is what they're sort of switch up was in the first, because in the first half, remember, he was driving in, he was throwing the ball away. He was, it was CTE ball. The second half was in control, was measured, it was efficient, and it was effective. Like that is what the stock exchange needs to look like.
Yeah, I want to go back and have a look at it, but like getting the defense just like moving in a tiny bit, and then you're able to like misdirect and use that size advantage while you're the smaller, you're the quicker players. Can you get the defense moving a little bit, and then Derek and Jrue can start to take advantage of the defense like moving the opposite direction? Because I think you're right. Like that was a beautiful play. He read that the defense had all shifted over, spun back the other way, nice finish over the top. But like, I mean, when it comes to Derek, he hit those 2 back to back. Just
he was
like
saving them. I was shocked that he was missing these momentum threes in the third quarter.
Yeah, same.
And someone tweeted me out. He was like, "No, he's just saving them for the fourth." Boom, immediately. And that's another reason why he has the ultimate green light when you get to the fourth quarter. Like he's
crazy.
He's probably the only guy that I think, in a game like this, I don't care what he shot in the prior 3 quarters. If there's a big momentum fourth quarter 3 to make, I want him to be the one to take it.
It's just ridiculous. 7-point game, and this is like these aren't easy looks. It's like KP sets the screen on KCP, and then they kind of want to like not put KCP on Porzingis. They end up having to make the switch, and Wendell Carter's there. He's right there. Wendell Carter's got a foot over the 3-point line.
It's unbelievable.
And Derek knocks it down, and then he comes back literally the next possession and hits. Al sets a beautiful screen. Again, this time it's Paolo, and he's the trigger.
Those are like those
Need
are the your heart out makes.
You can't,
right? Like that have just become his forte. That's his MO. Like when the time comes to deliver the knockout punch, I feel like Derek White is the best knockout punch shot maker on the team. It's like, it may not be a game winner, it may not be, but it's like those moments in the game where you just get bludgeoned with just, how does he make this? I can't believe those are the fuck you threes that, Isaiah made famous. It's like when he's making those threes, it's just such a deflating body blow that you're just so dazed you can't recover from it, because the next thing you know, you have, all the other offensive weapons. But those especially are the ones that, those were the momentum makes that he was not making in the third, but made when it counted.
I know, it's like, okay, we're taking these body blows from Jaylen and Porzingis over and over again. We're like, okay, still in it, 7-point game, and then Derek White just goes Steph Curry mode and hits back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden it's a 12-point game with 5 minutes to go. It's like, well, that's it. There's only so much, like you can't handle those shots late in the game.
It's what makes this team who they are, because just when you're thinking, oh my God, I've already spent so much attention worrying about the Jays and Porzingis, who the hell is this bald demon that just refuses to miss any type? Like, you just don't have the bodies or like the spirit to absorb all of the ways that the Celtics can kill you on any given night and on any given. This is like a 48-minute problem on every single possession that teams have to solve, and it's why they're so hard to beat 4 out of 7 times.
And with Derek, he needs to continue to apply that pressure. Like
definitely, I don't care if he misses.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care if he's only 3 for 10 tonight, right? He makes one more. It's funny, like the 2 like backbreakers that he hit were like maybe the 2 hardest shots that he took. No. It's like, which is another staple as well. It's like teams are now so hyper aware. It's like, we can't let Derek White fucking get off, because Derek was 7 for 12 in game 1. It's like you can't win with Derek White doing that. But there's so many problems. So they did a good job. But it's like he's just become so good as a shooter that eventually he's going to find it. And when they're limiting those threes, I think him and Porzingis in particular have to continue to hunt, because KP, I know he was 0 for 5, but he's able to stretch it out so far that he can still get them off. And Derek, he can pull on the switches, doesn't need any daylight. So it's like, you've got to keep getting those threes up to balance out the margin.
Honestly, like, it's great that they've won, with, 2 games, only taking 37 threes a game. But like against a team that can shoot threes and takes them at volume, you're going to have to bump that up and embrace your roots a little bit. The Magic, like, they're not going to be a high volume team, so it's not an issue in this series. But looking ahead, the Knicks take a lot of threes. Looking after that, you got Cleveland and Indiana. They take a lot of threes. Like you're going to have to live probably somewhere in the mid 40s. But for now, you're right. Like if you're not taking them, punish them with your mismatches, punish them with twos and with free throws. And then when it comes time for a big, backbreaking three, you have the guys to do it.
Yeah, I think, and it's just hard though with the switching defenses because teams are like, we have to try and limit the threes. There's just no chance for us to win this game. And 37 attempts with the pace that it is, I would guess that the percentage of their shots is not that far away. So 37 out of 80 shots.
So it's just under 50. I think they were at like 53% of their shots.
Okay,
the year,
so that's
that.
Regular season 3-point attempts.
But again, you were without a guy who takes about 10 threes a game.
Exactly.
So
which is why it was important that Jaylen got to 7 as well, though, because those pull-up threes that now you don't have from Tatum are important, especially when you're going to go 5 for 7. Looking forward to Game 4. I don't know if there's any adjustments you or anything you'd like to see more of. Defensively with Franz, I thought they were sagging off him, which I'm fine with, but I thought there was some like sloppy closeouts. It's like if you're going to sag off Franz, then you have to close out in control. Because if you're going to close out hard, that's what he wants. Right. And he was getting downhill, getting to those floaters, and then making plays from there. If you're going to sag off, sag off. But if you don't close out of control.
I just can live with the Magic having to beat you with their current shot profile. Like Powell from the mid-range, Franz from the mid-range with the occasional threes. Like, so they're going to have, like, the Magic are going to score somehow, right? So as long as you're I don't even think Franz was that efficient again tonight either. No. So it's like he has the high point total, but I feel like you're doing about as good as you can possibly do without a 6'10" wing to limit their looks and make things tough for them. It's just really like the thing that's, I think, going to matter in the Orlando games are if KCP hits a shot and if Cole Anthony hits a shot, right? Like the Powell and Franz, like they're going to get theirs. They're going to put up, the 60-ish points together. That's not going to change. It's going to be, can they, because I mean, how many wide open looks did KCP have today? We still haven't had the Cole Anthony moment that is coming, at some point in the series. So that is my concern as opposed to, do they have a solve for the Magic's two best players? It's like, if you take all the shots, you're eventually going to make a couple of them. We just have to make it as tough as possible.
Yeah, like is KCP going to go 5 for 6 in Game 3 as opposed to 0 for 6?
Right.
Like that's on the table. He hasn't been a good shooter this year, but at home, like can those guys get going?
Like, even though he's having a down season, like you just assume eventually the Magic are going to have a game where their role players play better, and that's probably going to come at home.
Yeah. And I think, so when you flip back the other side, man, the Magic were searching today, though. Cole Anthony only played 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
Jonathan Isaac didn't play in the second half either. They tried Goga Patatse instead to try and get some like offense going, because I think Isaac, it's like he's a defensive beast, but if they're going to be switching everything, you just go away. And then on the other end, exactly, he's a 0 offensively. He had 1 rebound in 6 minutes. So you try Goga. I was like happy when he didn't get ejected, because if he's going to be out there, then you can get into some more of your pick and roll offense and find some softer spots to like get the defense into rotation. But so you have to assume Cole Anthony, they have to find a way to get him going, because like right now, again, like Franz was 10 for 20, 25 points. Paolo, 12 for 25, 32 points. It's like, how much better can these guys play? You need to find a way to get the other guys going.
And it's interesting because like it's not like Corey Joseph is some sort of like defensive stalwart. So it's like, are they that afraid of Cole being attacked in switches defensively where they value that more than the offense because they consider, the Celtics getting good looks and, their best players hunting and getting going a bigger threat than what they lose offensively? Because I feel like he's a sneaky Celtics killer. And for him to play 5 minutes in a game like this, when you were right there and like you just needed some sort of momentum and sort of pace push, it is bizarre, but that's not exactly my problem to fix.
No.
Like if they don't want to play one of their best, microwave scorers, all the power to them.
I know coming out of the Atlanta play-in game, everyone's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I'm really not looking forward to the Cole Anthony thing. And he's like,
and how he played against, the hospital Celtics in their game to end the year. I think he had 18 points in a quarter.
True, he was going nuts. He puked on the court and hit every shot, which was a moment as well. So that's a couple of things that I would look into. And also the short roll stuff. Like, I feel like they got it going a little bit in the second half. Finding Luke, he had that one drop in the middle. That was painful. But, I think there are cracks, whether it's Derek, Jrue, Porzingis, any of the bigs, they find those spots. Like the Magic are kind of coming out to show and then rotating and recovering or scram switching out. Make those passes into the short roll, and then I think you can get the defense in rotation and generate more of those threes.
I think
they're getting more comfortable.
Jaylen had a three. I think it was Horford, right? That maybe had passed it to him in one of his corner threes early in the first quarter. So you're right. Like that, I expect Luke will snap out of it and be playable. And I think, him actually being a functioning big like he's been all year will do a lot to help that short roll sort of offense and option, in non-Tatum minutes, if that's what, we see in game 3.
Yeah. So I'm liking that. And I thought KP on the post-ups, I liked how he's looking to pass it back out as well. It's like you can get it to KP. If they collapse a little bit, back out, he can get the ball back. And that led to one of the other Jrue Holiday drives. It was like KP had it, back out to Jrue. Because all you need is a little bit of space. Get the defense a little bit out of the position, and we can get the machine rolling. But, Greeny, we're 2-0. Going down to Orlando. Things are good. Jayson Tatum, put your hand in the hyperbaric time chamber over the next 48 hours. But I think we're...
Again, you win this game, you win the series. The series is over. So it's I think we're going to see a lot of their, they did not screw around when they were in this position last year. They won every game 3 on the road last year, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's
good plan. Do it again.
And that was such a huge part of their short series. It's don't even give them the confidence of winning that first one at home. End it soon. Take game 4 off if you want. But in the meantime, I think this team is just so locked in where, game 3 might be the blowout that I think we're all sort of like, how come you guys haven't blown this team out yet? Playoffs are hard, but, they haven't had their 23-point made, game yet. And that's coming. Let's hope it comes on, Friday.
Yeah. They're due. And this team is just mature, to your point about being locked in. Like seeing them get into a little fisticuffs, a little kerfuffle. I was like, this is just not this team. No. They don't do this. They like to just win basketball games and get out of there. That's what they do. So it was kind of funny to see them actually Al Horford actually get
But you know what? But that's the toughness. People are going to challenge you. You are the champion. They want your crown. They know that they don't have the talent to beat you. So the only way that they can possibly do it is to get in your head and get you, unfocused or, what have you. The same way we saw that they want another Grant Williams situation where, you're just now mentally checked out. Or, when Smart would lose his cool. But now it's no, we've gotten over the hump. We're tough. We're tougher than you. We're going to call you out on your bullshit. And then we're going to bury you while we do it. That is just a different vibe that we have not seen. And I think that comes with the confidence of winning a title.
Oh, no question. Yeah. And it's more like the swatting away of an annoying fly as opposed to chasing it around the house. And now you've spent 15 minutes trying to kill a fly that's been pissing
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
I did hate Cole Anthony's comments being now we got him. They're thinking about us. And I was like,
nobody ever thinks about you.
It's literally the Don Draper thing. It's I really don't think about you. We're just pissed off that you've made our star player miss the first game in 115 playoff games. Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Again, it's not exactly surprising that immediately after in game 2 it was more of the same. It's this is what everyone knew was going to be the case entering the Magic. That's why you have to end the series as quick as possible, because you just limit the opportunity for someone to swipe down on a wrist or to land under a foot or to trip a 38-year-old man when he's running up the court or to elbow someone in the face. Like, I was certain that I was never in the start in, you know, the nose or something like that. So you just get through these people, be done with them. You know, it's like the same Miami Heat mindset.
Yeah.
Like, this is how they know that it's their only chance to beat you playing this way. Take it on the chin, punch back, and be done with it.
Take the punch back, be done with it. Greeny, it's been a pleasure. Everybody in the chat, good to see you. Celtics up 2-0. Until next time, go Celtics.